I'm doing a repair for an old friend of my parents. The last time I was here, I was about 8 years old. I'm scared of dogs. Petrified. No, I'm alright.
She's alright.
Unleash the beasts.
We had a leak in the roof. And John was poorly, like, and never got round to doing it. We've had a new roof since.
To get trestle, some timber, some screws, a multi-tool or a pad saw. Basically cut out that section of the ceiling and replace it, so. Then more time carting gear around than actually doing the job. Like a fitted dust sheet instead now. John had reskinned the ceiling himself at some point, but since then they've had a leak and it's caused the new plaster to come away from the old background. Bit of plasterboard off. It's all jagged. I always keep little offcuts of plasterboard in my van specifically for jobs like this. Yeah. So I know which way it goes back in. It can soak for ages, it just becomes really brittle and you can poke holes through it. Fortunately, this isn't. It's stayed solid, so I'm not trying to cut out a massive area. I'm just going to cut out the affected area. What's faster? Running all the way down to the van to go and get a pad saw or a multi-tool. Just persevere with the bits of kit that we've got with us. Moment of truth. Glad that's gone anyway. Best SBR on the market, Plaster's blend. Dust off the trestle, so I'm not walking in it. I only really need to patch in there, but that's going to look a mess when they paint over it. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to plaster out past the paint so that you haven't got to deal with that issue as well. Let's go. Right, whilst we give that 5 or 10 minutes to dry in, I want to tell you the great little thing that you can do. I could be sat here now doom scrolling social media, but instead I found a great little way of making a couple of quid with every bit of spare time that I have. Now, I'll tell you how this works. On the internet, there are thousands upon thousands and thousands of apps that people download. Now, all of these apps that developers make have to be tested by somebody. Tester Up, the sponsors of today's video, have created a way with a little app where you can be the tester. So basically, you install Tester Up onto your phone, and they give you different games to play all the time, different apps to test, and you fill in a little survey at the end of it, and you can get paid up to 80 quid for doing it. Now, it's not one of those things where you think, okay, yeah, whatever, I'll never see the money. No, they pay you within 24 hours. These aren't just some dodgy little backstreet app company. They've got over 3 million users. Check out their score on Trustpilot. So, here's what you do. Go to the link in the description of this video, install the Tester Up app and start earning money straight away. It's a quick registration and you're straight into it, and the money can be in your bank by this time tomorrow. All you're doing is wasting time doom scrolling, so you may as well make a few quid, mightn't you? Click on the link in the description or the pinned comment or the QR code on the screen now and get Tester Up and start earning a few quid. Cheers, guys. Somewhere along the line I acquired this, so I'm going to put this in the screw gun and see how well that mixes the plaster. I don't think it's going to do anything, so I'm taking this just in case, because the last thing I want to do is take the big mega mixer or the big DeWalt whisk all upstairs just for a little bucket of stuff. So we'll see how it gets on anyway. Okay, so I'll tell you now. The SBR is drying upstairs, so we're having a coffee downstairs, and this is Rocco. Rocco is the grandson of the lady that we're working for. And Rocco's just told me, you've got a YouTube channel, haven't you?
Yeah.
He watches my videos as well, and Rocco's channel is called
Rocco LFC.
And he's got, how many subscribers has he got?
16. I've got 4 videos.
He's got 4 videos and 16 subscribers. So I said what we'll do is, we'll feature him on my channel. We're going to put the link to Rocco's channel in the description of this video, and if you want to go and subscribe and give his channel a little boost, that'd be greatly appreciated, wouldn't it, mate?
Yeah.
Give him a little thumbs up as well. Good stuff. Alright, mate.
Yeah.
So, you don't want to be here for too long with this half-time accelerator. We're going to put more than the recommended dose of this in, so it sets faster. We're going to put about half a sachet in. We won't be on this job for very long. Not the best thing in the world, but it did the job. If I'm honest, it was absolutely useless. Don't bother buying one of them. First thing I'm going to do is block out the plasterboard to the same level, and then blend in where it needs to be. Okay, that's the board filled out. That's down flush with the ceiling now, so now I'm going to cover the whole area, and then we can start feathering in. Now, when plasterboard gets wet, it can go really brittle if it's wet for a long time. So basically what happens is you can just poke holes in it with your finger. I've checked the plasterboard all around the hole, and it was quite solid. It wasn't crumbled and falling apart, so I've just literally cut out the bad section. Now, some people said, oh, you should have took out the whole lot of it, but ultimately it's just going to create loads and loads of mess when it doesn't need to be. Now, the paint's flaking off, and to avoid them having a nightmare trying to paint over where the paint joins, where it's peeling away, I'm just going to patch in over that as well, so they haven't got to deal with that. That firm up a little bit now, so I'm just going to wash this off. Now, it's also going to firm up in the bucket, okay? And that's not ideal because we don't want it to set, but we'll just knock it back up a little bit with a bit of water and it'll be ready to second coat. That's more like it. So this stuff now, we're going to wet this stuff up, give that a nice second coat. Scratcher. Lovely. I have to remember to call it the scratcher, because for years I've called it the Margaret Thatcher, but I'm aware if I say that on the videos that you guys won't know what I'm talking about. I'm not concerned with the flaky paint worrying about the plaster pulling it away. It actually wasn't flaky. What's happened is the ceiling's been painted with vinyl silk, and anyone that's ever put vinyl silk on fresh plaster will know that if you can get in behind it and pick away at it, it'll just peel off like skin, and that's what was happening. So now I've plastered over it and blended into it, there'll be no more bits where you can get underneath to pick it, so it's going to stay put. Look how well this fella's being brought up. He even come up to say tra before he went. Alright, mate. Hey, thanks for helping. Nice to meet you, Rocco. Take it easy, mate. What a lovely, well-mannered young man. Look, done, feathered in as we're going. So now, just going to wash the tools off, flatten that in, and get it nice and smooth. I asked about the little holes where the TV bracket had been on the wall, but I was told there was a new TV bracket going back on there. The feathering in is the hardest bit, where you blend old plaster into new plaster. That is really quite difficult to get it seamless, but if you use plenty of water and trowel across the joint and use the fat to feather in, you can make it invisible, regardless of how many people say you can't, you need easy fill. If it's done properly, you can do it. Look, the accelerator's working. We're getting little dark patches, which is a good sign because it means we won't be here for too long. Let's give it another trowel now. This is theoretically the first wet trowel, just to give you an idea how fast it's actually setting. Now, if I was doing an actual advert for Halftime, I wouldn't be allowed to tell you to put more than the recommended dosage in. But I'm not doing an advert for them. So I can just tell you the truth. The more accelerator you put in, the faster it will set. So if you put 1 sachet to half a bag, yeah, you're going to be there for half time. If you put 1 sachet to a quarter of a bag, you're going to be there for a quarter of the time. If you put 1 sachet to a couple of handfuls, you're not going to be there long at all. See how this kicked up here? I would have liked to have put that in straight, but then we would have been out in front of the nib. With this bit of coving here, you can see that the coving's in at different heights. There's that nib, there's that nib, them corners aren't meeting up. So I've got to keep that, otherwise we'll lose that cove there. In between troweling up, you've always got a spare couple of minutes. So if you can clean up in that time, the more cleaning you do in between, the less you've got to do at the end. For any young apprentices watching, close your eyes now. My old fella used to go mad at me for using my finger to clean down with. He'd say, go and get a plasterer's small tool or an angle brush or a sponge or something, but don't use your finger, for goodness sake. So, sorry Dad if you're watching, it's just faster sometimes. Okay, this is the polish now. In total, this job took me an hour and a half from start to finish. What took the longest was waiting for the SBR to dry and having a coffee downstairs. That's the difference when you use accelerator. That's it. That is feathered in. Perfect. No ridge. The paint, where the paint had peeled, has been plastered over, so you'll never feel that again. That'll just paint it lovely. Now this job didn't take me long, and as I mentioned at the start of the video, it was for a friend of my parents. I wanted to do it for nothing, but Cal, being a very proud lady, insisted she would not let us leave without giving us some money. So, thanks Cal, we appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
No, pleasure. About a week to drive.